Welcome back, fight fans. It's Alex Correa with Squared Circle Report with my co-host Oscar Villalobos, and we're here to do our year review in boxing in 2022, man. And it was quite a year. It was, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had a ton of fights, great fights. And we had to pick. We had a few to pick from, but
yeah, each network and promoter put on quite good cards, man. But let's get started with Fighter of the Year, man.
Okay.
Who'd you think?
Fighter of the Year, I think, in my opinion, everyone expects this, basically. I think it was Dimitri Bivol. He did what he had to do, basically. He took over, the sport of boxing in a sense. He beat the #1 champ, Canelo Alvarez. Even though Canelo did move up to 175, but I think, Bivol basically took it with ease,
Yeah, I mean, he withstand it. He took his power shots, and I just think he was just too young, too strong for Bivol.
Right.
Yeah, or Bivol was too big, too strong for Canelo.
For Canelo, yes. And then he also beat Ramirez as well.
Everyone thought that was going to be a tough fight for, like a pick'em fight. And I mean, he just won it with ease, man. There wasn't even
easier for him.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. Canelo put up, the smaller fighter put up a way bigger fight than Ramirez did. I was a little disappointed in that fight. I did not see him having it that easy.
Right, I agree. And that's why Fighter of the Year, in my opinion, went to Dimitri Bivol.
Yeah, same. I also picked Bivol, and we were talking too, but I still want to give mention to what Devin Haney did, I mean, he went and to Australia to beat the champion Kambosos and come home with
twice.
The belt. Yes, twice.
So he did it. Good deed there, and he won obviously convincingly. I think after the first fight, I think if there was a rematch, which there was a rematch clause,
right.
In my opinion, the same thing was going to happen.
Yeah, and it kind of did, but I mean, he stuck to it. He signed the contract, and he gave him his 2 fights, and he won the
convincingly.
Yeah, very convincingly, and now he's the unified champion at 135. So.
Right, the guy to beat. So.
right.
Yeah, definitely. The next thing that we want to talk about is the Fight of the Year, and I'll let you go first, Alex, with the Fight of the Year. What's your opinion?
Man, like I said, there was a lot of good fights this year, like I said earlier, but I'm leaning towards Leigh Wood and Michael Conlan, because just the whole fight, man. Conlan jumped on ahead and was winning convincingly. Yeah, and Wood kind of was starting to bring it back, and then the knockout at the end with Wood knocking him out of the ring, and I mean, he needed a knockout to win the fight, and he did it.
Right.
Michael was on his way to winning his first belt, and it just wasn't in the cards that day for him. And it was kind of a scary knockout too, because the way he fell out of the ring and the cameras all zoomed out, but he was okay, so that's even better, and he came back and won a couple fights, so I'm looking forward to, so I got to give that as my Fight of the Year, just because of the way Leigh Wood came back to win it, and he needed the knockout, and he got it.
Great fight. I mean, a lot of ebb and flows from the beginning to the end, and and we saw the result, a great fight, I kind of agree with you, but I'm going to go a different route. I mean, Fight of the Year for me was the women's fight between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. It was a great fight. It was a great show, in and of itself. It was in New York. It was sold out. It was a sold out event. And, more than anything, we got a great fight from those 2 ladies, which, I mean, you don't get that much in boxing nowadays with women, but it's starting to come up, and we're starting to see a new thing, a new renaissance basically from them.
Right.
And it's not just them. We have other ladies that had great fights as well during the year. But for me, this fight was the Fight of the Year for me, even though, I'm going this route basically, but I really enjoyed that fight.
So. Yeah. No, you have to give it to them. They packed the Garden. all the Irish showed up, all the Puerto Ricans showed up at Madison Square Garden. I wasn't there, but from what I heard, it was like super loud, and the loudest. Some people said they haven't heard it since Miguel Cotto days at the Garden. So, and for them ladies to sell it out, and like just to show that people are interested in women boxing. So that's and them girls fight, man. They fight each other, and they always the top fighters are always fighting each other. So big ups to the ladies, man.
More power to them.
Right,
and let's keep going. Let's keep going. Right. Yeah, definitely.
Can't go wrong with that pick, man.
Right. Next up is Knockout of the Year. I'm going to give it to you.
Knockout of the Year? Okay. I might be a little biased because I was present for this one, but okay. I'm going with Gervonta Davis on Rolly Romero, man. Rolly's a pretty big dude. He was winning a lot of the rounds. He was winning on the scorecards, and in my opinion, I don't know exactly what the judges had, but I'm sure I'm on a few of them there. He was winning on the cards, and he just caught him, man, real clean. And then at the end, he said he didn't even hit him with his all his power, but he knocked him out cold, man, and they ended the fight with that one shot, man. Gervonta's no joke, man. I mean, they call him Tank Davis for a reason, man. He packs that punch, and he dropped him, man. The crowd went nuts. It was a good one, man. It
was a good showing from Rolly too. I mean, at the beginning, I think he took some of the rounds. But he just got caught, That's what happens in boxing. Obviously, you get caught with the right punch, and you're gonna go down. So,
and with that too, like Rolly's stock got raised a little bit. The showing that he put on, like you were saying.
Oh, definitely his stock, definitely did rise. So yeah, I agree. Right. I agree.
Who'd you have?
In my opinion, I think I'm gonna go back to your fight of the year, which was Wood and Leigh Wood versus Mick Conlan. That punch that Conlan took just knocked him out cold and out of the ring. So that was the knockout of the year for me, in my opinion. So
yeah.
I mean, there were a ton of knockouts, in boxing, but I picked that one just with the way the ebb and flows that were happening during the fight. Wood was losing on my card, in my opinion, and he had to come out and try to knock him out, which he did. So.
Right. The other thing too on that knockout, I forgot. Like, it was in front of like his family and everyone. They had the front row, and it was really dramatic, actually. Like that one, man. Right. If you guys haven't watched it, go on the Zone and check it out. The whole fight was good, and that was a vicious knockout.
Right. It was a brawl, definitely. Definitely.
I want to add one more, Oscar.
Go ahead.
The Caleb Plant knockout this year.
That one was a good one.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of shit talking with them, and them throwing the dirt on them. But I mean, either way, the one shot knockout, like Caleb Plant's not known for his knockout power, but he
unexpected. It was unexpected. Yeah.
He does have power and some pop, and also I think with that knockout. He got more buzz for his fight coming up with Benavidez, so now there's buzz. Everyone was thinking Benavidez is gonna just
roll through him,
right? But now people are second guessing, and now we'll see, man. So that props to Caleb Plant, showing people he got that pop too, man.
Right, don't take him lightly, man. Nobody take him lightly,
No, man.
Especially Benavidez or anyone else in the future, He has what it takes. He's a great boxer, obviously, that we knew, of course.
Right.
From his fights, but that punch, it just knocked out, what's his name? Knocked him out cold. His opponent, I forget.
Right. I can't
recall his name. But anyway, he knocked him out cold, and there was animosity, as you stated earlier, during the fight, and then knocked him out, and then he just threw the shovel at him.
Yeah, fucking buried him, man.
Definitely. So, but it was a great fight as well. It gets props from us too. So definitely.
Right. Fans noticed, man. The fans noticed.
Yeah.
But also, man, there were a lot of not new faces to the hardcore boxing fans, but for casuals and everything. But you should. There's fighters to be looking out for, man, in 2023. So who do you?
Yeah, for next year. Like? I mean, there's more than a few. I mean, there's obviously Diego Pacheco. He's one of them at 168 pounds. He, hopefully they step him up next year, and maybe he'll be knocking on the door for a title soon. But Diego Pacheco, he's one to look out for. The other guy that I really like the way he fought, William Zepeda, nickname El Camarón. He gave us a great fight against Jojo Diaz. Just non-stop fighting, from the first round to the last. And if they give him the opportunity, hopefully, in the next year or so, he'll also be knocking on the door for for a title contention.
Right.
Who do you have?
I like Bernardo Lopez. He went over to Leeds and snatched up that IBF belt, man.
Oh, that was a good fight.
Yeah, it was, man. And with all the dirty tactics going on, he stayed focused and got the W, man. So he's a top-ranked guy. So I'm big on him right now. And also, just a couple weeks ago, Frank Martin, Earl Spence's fighter, man, he looked good against Michel Rivera. And he's someone to be reckoned with. He went pretty much, in my opinion, from straight to a contender,
After that fight, right?
Oh,
it was a good fight. It was a great fight. I mean,
because prospect straight to contender. They were both undefeated, and they had it like a 50-50 fight. But I mean, he won every round convincingly. So I'm big on him, and then he's with Earl Spence and his camp, so it's going to look bright for him, man. Future's looking bright.
Right. Another fighter that I enjoyed watching this past year was Emma Williams. He's someone to look out for as well. He hopefully maybe two or three fights. He's also looking at some type of title contention. I believe he's a middleweight, and I mean he's someone to look out for. I believe they might give him his next fight against Felix Cash on the Zone, and that should be a good fight if it happens. Hopefully it does. There was some type of animosity as well when Felix Cash fought. I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. He was there I think it was in England. He was there, pushing for that fight, and there was some pushing and shoving between them, and that's something to look forward to for next year.
You know how to sell fights, man.
Right, definitely. So we'll see. I mean, 2023, we're looking, hopefully for the best,
Yeah. But one thing on 2023 that I'm looking forward that it started at 2022 is I just want to want to applaud what Devin Haney's doing, what he did, take kind of his career in his own hands. Left Matchroom and the Zone and went over to ESPN. He wanted those titles. He signed a 3-fight contract. I don't know exactly what the money was, but I know he took kind of a pay cut. But now he's undisputed champion. Got one more fight with Top Rank, which sounds like it might be with Lomachenko, which that'll be a good fight to see.
Right.
And then also Tank Davis. He left Mayweather Promotions. He's still with PBC and Al Heyman, of course. But he's trying to do the Canelo thing also, man. That not just be stuck somewhere. They want the smoke, man. These fighters ain't scared of each other, man. Trust me. Like they want to fight. They want to fight. They want the glory, legacy, the money, the titles, all of that, man. So big ups. I hope more guys fight against each other's. Across the street, as they say, and stuff, and just go for the big fights, man. The big names. The names are out there, man.
Right. Yeah. In my opinion, I mean, boxing is pretty much. It's been a niche sport, for the past years or so. It's not like obviously in the olden days, back in the 90s or whatever, when you had pay-per-views that were real events. Nowadays, we do have pay-per-views, and we only have 1 or even 2 good fights in the event. The rest of the card, sorry to say this, is pretty much trash. We as boxing fanatics, as boxing heads, whatever you want to call us, we want to see great events, great fights, great pay-per-views. If we're going to be dishing out the money, as most of us fight fans do, we definitely want to see a great show overall. We don't want to see 1 good fight or 2. We want to see a good show. We want to see great promotions. So hopefully, I mean, this goes out to the promoters, to the fighters. They could push for themselves. They could push their promoters to give us, the best fights out there, the best cross-functional, fights between different promotions. We want the best. Sorry to say this, but other sports events, such as UFC or other events. They have pay-per-views, but they definitely know how to put on good shows. But boxing, it's time to step it up, give us the best, and obviously if you give us a great product, we're definitely going to buy it. So everybody out there that's listening to us, step it up and give us what we want. And
right. I mean, they're charging for these a lot of money for the pay-per-views. I mean, if they want to charge a little more but give us a better card, I'll pay the more for it,
right.
Like, to get these fighters paid. And I get the main eventers get the bulk of the money, but like let's put on a Tank and Garcia and put Virgil Ortiz on the undercard and Frank Martin on the undercard. Each promoter can put their next star on there,
right.
and
right.
get a good fight going on there, and like I'm sure guys would pay the extra money, but that's right. There's a lot of talent too in all these divisions. They're
right.
pretty stacked, man. So like we're just waiting to make them happen. They're starting finally to start fighting each other, and the rumors and everything. But hopefully, until I see a poster or like tickets on sale, contract side, I won't be happy. But like there's already whispers. The Plant Benavidez, looking forward to that. Tank Ryan in the future, looking forward to that. And,
right.
And plus, and many more, and the guys we just talked about to look out for.
Aside from buying the pay-per-views or the fights, I mean, some of us are definitely willing to go out of state, out of the city, to go watch these fights to Vegas, California, New York, wherever they're at,
Right.
We're willing to pay for it, so give us a better product, and we'll definitely be there, so.
That's right, man. But no, that's it for 2022, man. And like we said, looking forward to 2023.
Right.
And so if you're not following us now, but we're on every platform, Squared Circle Report, any social media platform, you can follow us there.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Right.
YouTube.
Right, even TikTok.
Subscribe, guys.
Yeah, and next year we'll be having some guests and bigger and better shows, man, to bring you guys.
Right.
So thank you guys for watching, and man, see you next year.
Stay tuned.